So today we are going to talk about the closure and the web API basics. So web API is very essential and important if you want to build your own iOS application, or when you do your third assignment, or even you want to make an app for your own. Like you can see, the 90% of the application that they use some sort of internet connection to retrieve data for you, like give you Instagram or some others, they give you the information from the website. Okay, so we are going to talk about that, and there is an important syntax in Swift called closure. This is very complicated one, but I'm trying to give you guys a quick walkthrough, just to the point that we use it. We open Xcode. We start with a paragraph. So you can follow me as always if you like. So it's no matter iOS or Mac OS. You just click the black one, and you just give it 3 left 3 minus. So we delete everything here. So let's say we have an array, okay? So let's first define an array. So array, and let's say we want to sort it, okay? There is a function called sorted, and it has this parameter called by, and he wants you to pass something like this. It's very weird, right? We only want to pass some type like int or string previously, but this time it wants us to have something like this. So this thing has some input to int and an output which is a boolean. So this kind of thing is very like the function that we use, which have also an input and an output. So this function exactly we passed a function, another function as parameter to it, because when you sort it, it has to know you want the big one first or the small one first, right? So if the big one first, it is like 5, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? But if it is a small first, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so these two things are all sorted, but in a different way. I have to specify here. Okay, so we define a function which just exactly have the structure here. Okay, let's say we want to define a function. We call it greater than. Okay, so it is we want the big one first. Okay, and we give it 2 input, and we give the return is boolean. See, it is exactly the same as above. Okay, ignore the zero, it's just a return. Okay, and we just want to whether or not the first one is greater than the second one. Okay, that is the greater than. Okay. Then we just passed. Okay, we define another variable named sort names, and we equal to names dot sorted by. We copy paste this thing, and we replace this parameter with the function name here. Okay, and we print it as. See, it print out as the ordered array. Okay. Any question here? Okay, has anyone of you found this very weird? Because it passed a function like as a parameter in here, right? And also this function, we are not use it elsewhere. We only use it here. We only use it here to pass as a parameter. Use here once only. So, and it's not intuitive. Like previously we have like some like say variable like greater than blah blah blah. Okay. Previously we also have some variable and we pass this variable here, right? So when this new thing pass the function here, make people uncomfortable and awkward to use this. So Swift did come up with a new thing to define this kind of function with a variable, and it looks like this. We just copy the function here, right? So we give the function a name. However, it look we don't need the defunct keyword anymore, and also we don't need the greater than anymore, right? We already give it a name. And here we move this left brace. We move it into here. And then we need to distinguish these two parts, right? So we add a keyword in here. Okay? So this thing called a closure. And we assign this closure to a variable. And then we can pass this variable to other functions like before we did, which is feel more natural. Okay? Okay, so we can so we comment this thing. Okay, since it's the same, we want to see the difference. We give it a different name. Maybe we call it less than, and we change this greater than, equal than, greater than to less than. Okay, now we use it as the same. So it's fine. We just pass this thing here and we print it out. You see? It is become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Any questions? This is the connection between a closure and a function. And this is a named closure, which you can see there is no quite much difference between it and the function. And the difference is that, so people then figure out, okay, I use this thing here. Like I said, I only use it here once. So there is really not much necessary that we give it a name, right? We only use this license in here once. So more often than not, we just ignore this name and use only the right part of it, which is a closure by itself without a name. Okay, so more often than not, you will see that this thing become okay. License, we are not using it. We just use the right part of it. We copy paste it here. Comment this text. Okay, it is still the same thing. And this is why we teach you guys about the closure. When you see some syntax like this, a bracket with some variable as input, and there is the arrow return output, and there is a keyword in, and there is more code in here. You can write more code. And in the end, there is a brace followed by a bracket. So when you see something like this, you know exactly what it is and where it oriented. Okay? Any questions? So far, so good? Good, okay. And here, there is also a more often like shortcut version of the closure, which is like, so you see that this, you see that here the system knows that we want to int, right? Int through a boolean. So it already know that the return type, the input type. So there is no need. Sometimes there is no need you write it again. So you can ignore this part for more concise code. When the system know it is a bool, the return type, or sometimes here is a void, which means return nothing. When return nothing, you can also delete it. And with this arrow, with this right direction or arrow, so it becomes this way. You can see something, okay, it's a brace and a bracket and some two variable name, and just followed by a space and in and some more code. This is exactly the same closure as before. We just, it is a shortcut version. Okay. And we will use this a lot in the HTTP request and API call, and a lot more function in the future. Okay, so you should get yourself familiar with this kind of syntax, and right. So it's all part of by the first step, but after you get familiar with it, you will know. Okay. So this is what we call closure, and relation about function, and the usage. First, like I said, make the more code more concise and neat, and also we use it as some callback handler after getting the data from web API. What is mean, and I will show you now. What is used, why we need to introduce this concept, because we want to use it in the web API call scenario. Okay. Okay, let's go to the API very quickly. So I hope you guys already very familiar with this URL thing, right? So, but just for introduction, in case you don't know much, this is the normal URL, and this part called protocol and the domain, subdomain path. And most importantly, we are interested in is this query. So, what's this mean? So if you open your this URL and so this part basically you can change to anything. You can change anything. It is still the same page. Okay. Or you can even like delete the later part. It is still the same page. So sometimes when you got your reference link from a friend to ask you to download Uber to get you $5 and he also get $5, this is what it works. There's a question mark, there's a reference, and there's your friend's name, like James, something like that. Okay, so it may be not like this way, it's like this real code, which is the correct version of your friend's name. Okay, that's where that's how the browser, how the company know that it is your friend that refer you to this application and who the promotion actually gave to. Okay, so every time you find a link, you copy paste in here, and you in the right the rightmost part is the query, and this is how the URL works. So we as a developer, when sometimes we need to pass the parameter to the browser, to the database, to the website. This is how we do it. This is the one parameter, and you can follow by this simple, and the second one parameter, and the third one parameter. Okay. So sometimes you even see people doing this user equal password equal just give the password. This is very dangerous because people can just get this password just from the URL. It's a large company, decent company won't do this way, but someone sometimes they make a mistake. They do it this way, and that's sometimes why your password get linked, get public, everyone don't know. Okay. So this is the normal website, and we are more interested in something we call API, which is exactly a normal URL, but instead of this one, we can read it as human, and this one is more like the design for like computer to read. So you can still read it, no problem, but will not be happy to read this thing. Okay? But as a computer, as a developer, we want this kind of data because it's very concise and to the point. We don't need all this information to bomb us. We just need the information that we want, like this one. Okay? This is called API. Okay? It's just the same URL, but designed for computer to read. And you can see that there is the same question mark, that here is API key equal some key. Okay? This is a very normal schema when you do API code. That the API company, build API to make money. Okay? So if I give you API about the weather data, if you want to use my API like this, you need to pay me to get your key, and then you can use your key to get the data like this. Okay? So when you do your assignment 3, or you want to build your own application, often than not, the first thing you want to do is to go on the internet to Google which kind of API you want to use and what's out there on the internet. Right? If you want to build like a weather forecast thing, right? You want to know where I can get such kind of data. So you just search for weather in Australia, like API free, maybe, right? So you got this 70 top weather APIs, okay? So there's all different kind of API you can use, so, right? So someone are free, someone are not. You have to make your research about this. That's often the first step when you build your application. You have to know what kind of information are available to you at what kind of cost. Okay. And that's basically just the introduction about this part. We will go review this part in the following tutorial as well. But today I just want to give you the big picture about why we need this and how we can do it. And basically with this thing, you already got everything you need, right? Except it is hard to, for you to read, right? So we can have some online formatter to help us to read this thing. So like the thing I post on the point top PPT, there is a thing called free formatter. We can open this website. Let's open it. I'll show you what I mean. You can just click on the JSON formatter. By the way, this kind of thing called JSON, and you don't need to worry about that right now. We will cover that later. But basically, it's just a string at this format, and we copy this thing in here in this JSON formatter. We just click on the format JSON. And you will get this beautiful, printed version of the same string, where you can see it's just a dictionary. We have the keyword, the key, the value, the key, the value, the key, the value. And this is how the most API return the information in this way. And you can later on explore it by look up the keyword that you are interested of and make the information to show up on your application. Okay, like this one, this is some kind of photo. It has some, let me see, some URL about this photo. You just copy paste it and you open it. You open this URL. You can see this is some picture, right? So when you say you want to build some image or like a Flickr or Instagram, right? The API will not return the actual image to you. It will return you with the image URL as well, and you can decide what you are going to do with it, right? Because return a string is very fast, right, and small. If it return the real picture, it will slow your internet, and sometimes you don't even need this thing, right? So it gives you the choice. So what do you want to do about it? but everything you have already got on your hand. Okay? Any questions? Good. Could you share the code for shortcut version? Certainly, this one. What's the problem, Jibin? Oh, okay. You got the error message. What's the error message? And the error message should tell you why there is an error, right? You have no error message at this point, right? If you have no error message at this point, I just only delete this thing, and this thing, and this thing to make this work. So if you can make this work, make sure you delete the same thing, not anything more or less. Okay? Or you can be less, but like it should work. Okay? Let me know what's your problem. Okay? Okay, cool. So I hope this thing will give you guys some hint about the final assignment, or whether you want to work on your own application. This thing will give you guys some inspiration. Okay. So I just quickly demo how to get this information in the Swift, in the iOS. Okay. We are not going to go very detailed today, but just a template that you could use by your own. Okay. This is the how you are going to do in the iOS. I will do it in the playground as well for you guys. So I just follow this instruction here. Okay. So how to make this HTTP request call. So we just first set up the session with the URL, which I already, let me see. Okay, I already done here. Okay, we just okay, there is the error because we didn't import the foundation. We need this foundation because this URL session is inside this foundation framework. Okay, so import foundation and live session here, and you also give your URL here. Okay, so we just this time we use this exactly the same string here, URL here. We just copy paste it here. Okay, cool. So the reason I used exclamation mark is sometimes if you give the wrong URL, it will give you nil. That's why uh, it is uh, optional, right? So you shouldn't use this as I said, as I suggest. So if it's a nil, so you have to use what if right, like URL equal URL. This is the first thing you need to check whether the URL is valid or not. Okay, and then we create a task equal session for create task with URL comment. Okay, the URL is here we have already tried. And can you see the completion handler, which is exactly the same as we see here. Okay, it's not exactly the same. There is notable, but I said it doesn't matter. Okay, so we can use the same way here to define a function or name the function, right? But the more often and common practice way is to just use the block closure in here, or even the final cut version, shortcut version one. This is you will see a lot in others code or the demo code, right? So that's why we need to introduce the closure today. Okay, clear? So with just you can see there is a data response arrow and void. Okay, as I said, it is void, so we don't need to specify it. Okay, so it looks like this. So we just or you could just press enter. Okay, it will give you the prompt. It will give you the data, will give you the name data, and the response, and error. Okay, and the in whatever code you want. Okay, you see this syntax is closure. Okay, let me see. Okay, it changed to another shortcut. I want to show you this one, so I type myself. Okay, so the same one as before. Sorry, data response arrow in and yeah. So this one we need a okay. Okay. No, this. Okay. Okay, sometimes it's tricky because the brace and bracket. Okay, but make sure you just go here to double confirm by yourself to where it is the counterpart one. Okay, it's the same here. Okay, so make sure we have got everything right, and then we just want to print this data. Data is the actual thing that come back. Okay, so the way that if we just print the data, which you can see it is a data optional. Okay, so we have to unwrap it as usual. Data. And also the data is okay. I will show you just print this data. Okay. So after this you can see that we just made a download a task, which just means I create a task like which like BT, you want to download some big file or something, and it didn't start it yet. So to make it start, you have to call this task.resume. It may feel awkward at first, but not natural at first, but it is how it works. So after you create this thing, you have to call the task.resume, resume, sorry, resume to make it actual work. Okay, let's run this thing. Okay, you see, it is not our expected result. It just did this 1482 byte. Which is exactly the how long this thing is. But where is the string? Okay, we have to decode it. I'm not going to go to detail about this, but just letting you know the data is a binary data. We have to decode it into the string that we used in English because it has different encoding schema like UTF-8, 16, etc., or some Chinese character, Korean character, Vietnamese character. It's all different kind of encoding. So you have to tell the computer which kind of encoding it is used for it able to convert it back to the string. So the most common one is called UTF-8. So here we have a like the data string. Okay. If left data string equal string data encoding dot UTF-8, which is UTF-8, which is the most common one. Tom, what's your problem? What do you mean by can you also not access the slide from this way? You mean you can or you cannot? You can. I'm not sure about that because Hua upload the. Oh really? But I guess this week is week 3, right? Week 4 this week. Never mind. I uploaded this for you. Okay, cool. Week 4. Okay, no worry. Let me finish this. Okay, so you just use this thing. Okay, and you print it. So don't worry about this syntax if you don't get it. It's just something you have to note in order to decode this. Okay, and it is also optional, so use if like. Okay, so we run this again. You see exactly the same thing that we see on the website. Okay, I post if the code here in the sorry. I post the code in the queue. And I'll also upload the this week's material on the Microsoft Teams as well. Okay. Sorry about it. I will probably do the Okay, I've uploaded the this week's material on the team, so you can check. Okay. Any questions about the code we just wrote? Oh, good, cool. Okay, this is how you get the information, and to be technically, you already get everything you need. It's just it is hard for you. You just have to figure out, okay, to check the keyword and get information. And we will cover how to do that like professionally with the JSON object representation, decoding, etc. Okay, we will cover that. We will come to that later. Don't worry. Okay, but today I just give you the whole picture. Okay.